Hello friends, and welcome to the Gesundheit Kitchen. My name is Hans Rufert. I am with the Gastric Cancer Foundation, and this is a series trying to sneak some nutrition into your everyday meals and trying to keep it simple and focused and direct with a heavy emphasis on that connection between what we eat and how we feel. And to that end, I am a huge seafood lover. Well, not as huge as I used to be, but a big fan. And so I love shrimp scampi. And so I thought, you know, this is such a simple dish, and it's also such an expensive dish if you go out into a restaurant to get it. But so I thought, you know what, this is one of those skill sets that everybody needs to know how to do, whether you are stomached or otherwise. So very simple, very quick rundown of ingredients. It really is very garlic heavy. So we have garlic, we have onions, fresh tomatoes, some green onions, some scallion. I got about 6 shrimp, some butter, and just to add some greenery, a little bit of baby kale, which is not traditional, but whatever. It's fantastic. So we've got a medium-high heat pan. I'm gonna put in some butter. You can use olive oil, but I am a huge fan of butter, and if you can tolerate it well, I would say absolutely. That's where the flavor is. It's absolutely fantastic to have some butter in there. So to that, I'm gonna add about a solid teaspoon of minced garlic, because it is a very garlicky dish. And we go with some diced onion. That's a little bit of Bermuda and white onion, but you can use either or a combination of both. And I'm only doing, again, 6 shrimp here, so that's about 1/4 of an onion, right? So maybe 1/4 of a cup. Measuring is not my strong suit, but I just want to get those until they are translucent and really the smell starts to open up, right? That aroma really starts to kick in. So I'm not really trying to brown these that much. I have some fresh thyme, and you may have seen me do this before, but I'm really just sort of holding the stem and then stripping the leaves down. And the smaller, thinner stems are totally edible. I mean, it's all edible, but you don't really want to have like little splinters in your shrimp scampi. So that should be good to start. All right, now I want to get a little bit of liquid in here. I'm going to put in, this is some white wine. Most of that alcohol is actually going to cook out. So this is really more for the flavor than anything else. But if you don't have wine on hand, you could use, honestly, a splash of water if you needed to. But if you have, if you didn't have wine, you could very easily do a stock, veggie stock or chicken stock. You just want to have some liquid going on there. I got a little bit of dried oregano. Didn't have the fresh today, so I'm just going to put a little pinch of dried oregano in there and putting that in early. Now, I want to have some lemon juice, so I've got a whole lemon, and the best way to get the juice out is, especially if it's a tight young lemon, is you squeeze it, and you try to get all of the juice kind of working out of here, and then I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'll take a fork and I'll take the seeds out. So just give it a mild squeeze, pop the seeds out. You might still get 1 or 2 in there, but it's not the end of the world. And then I'm going to use the fork and just wrench all the juice out of here. So I'm using this to kind of squeeze all the juice out. And there were a bunch of seeds hiding in there. Get those out. But I want to kind of use some of that pulp as well. It's nice to have those little bright bursts of lemon in the dish. And already it smells exactly like shrimp scampi, and the shrimp are not even part of the equation yet. So I've got it on, like I said, a medium-high heat, and what I don't want to do is overcook the shrimp. So I'm doing all of these things first, all of my aromatics, and essentially what becomes the sauce here first. And then I'm going to add my shrimp, and they really only take a couple of moments. Like by the time they start turning pink, they're almost done. The worst thing you can do is overcook shrimp. I mean, not the worst thing in the scale of the fate of the universe, but when it comes to the shrimps, if you're gonna eat a shrimp, you really don't want to overcook it. And even if you're making like a shrimp cocktail, you don't want to bring it to a boil. You just want to sort of poach it. So I want to get it just until it turns pink. And the thing that makes it turn pink in here is actually iodine. So there's a natural iodine content in the shrimp there, and so that's kind of what's making it pink up there. Now, I got this going. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some baby kale, because I just want this to wilt a little bit. I'm not trying to overcook this. The stems are edible too, but if you got exceptionally long stems, you can just pop those right out. Get all of this in here. And then I want to add tomatoes, but I'm adding them towards the end because I still want them to have a little bit of, sort of integrity to them so they aren't just turning into mush. You could even use a little bit of the tomato juice if you have some very ripe tomatoes and you have that liquid coming out there. It works really nice in there. You can give that a flip. Start that up again. And then salt. And so the salt's just kind of to taste. You can always add more salt. Not that easy to take it out. So I'd rather you under season it to start with, give it a little less salt, and then adjust it. And again, you can always add more salt to the dish. It's just a tough thing to catch all that salt back out of there. And then lastly, I'm going to add these green onions, and I'm adding them at the end because I want there to be a little bit of crunch and that sort of fresh flavor. I don't want them to turn brown and just sort of disappear in the dish. I want them to have a little bit again of that structural integrity. I think when you cook, there's so many elements to this, right? There's their flavor, there's the visual side of it, there's the texture. And so you kind of try to take that in mind as you're putting all this together. If you do this in, I don't want to say the wrong order, but if you do it in a different order, if I started with the kale, it would be brown by the time the shrimp got ready. Or if I started with the shrimp, they would be chewy by the time that my aromatics, like my garlic and my onion, get together. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit, and we're basically there. You can see the shrimp are getting nice and firm. They're totally opaque. They're no longer that translucent. They turned a nice solid pink. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and turn this all the way off. And that is our shrimp scampi. Now this could be served as I'm going to, just sort of as an appetizer, where I'm going to put it in a plate and eat it straight up. But you could also turn this into a quick pasta dish by serving this, either tossing pasta in with this, right? You could very easily take some smaller noodles like rigatoni or penne or cavatappi and toss them in there, because that sort of buttery, winey goodness there makes a wonderful sauce. Or, as I said, if you eat it just like this, you could take some crusty French bread and use that to kind of sop up that liquid. Or you could even do more liquid and make this a soup and have that broth be something fabulous there to enjoy. And I've got this extra lemon here. Let me put a little slice there if somebody wants to have additional lemon to squeeze on the dish. But that is a quick, easy, I think, start to finish. You're looking at 6 minutes, 8 minutes. I talk so much, it probably ends up being longer than that. But crazy simple to do. Most of the ingredients you might have on hand. You can have frozen shrimp on hand in the freezer, just give them a quick thaw. But that's the kind of thing that when you feel like you can eat something, right? And you have those moments where like all of a sudden I need to eat something, you can throw a quick, healthy, delicious meal together in a matter of moments. And that same dish, that same size would cost you 10, 12, 14 bucks in a restaurant. And our food cost in that is probably $1.80, maybe $2, which I know is not necessarily the point of this exercise, but in my mind, that goes in the bonus, in the plus column for something, again, quick, healthy, delicious, inexpensive, and celebratory. So there's a shrimp scampi. I hope you enjoy. I've gotten to the point now where I whistle when I say the letter S. Sorry for that, but enjoy your shrimp scampi. Take care of yourself, and look forward to seeing you next time here in the Gesundheit Kitchen. Until then, take care.